Hello friend, welcome you to the discussion of today's newspaper, The Indian Express. So first important news is disengagement completed at 2 points, stage set for resumption of patrolling. So finally the disengagement procedure completed at 2 points. What are the 2 points? Demchok Valley and Depsang Valley. Who did the disengagement? The Chinese military. So what is the news? An agreement was signed between India and China on October 21 this year that China will disengage, or disengage means remove. China will remove their army from the 2 point. What are the name of the 2 point? Demchok Valley and Depsang Valley. Okay. So before going into deep into the matter, I will tell you the background. I will show you some map. So look at this map. Okay, this is the actual map of our Jammu and Kashmir. Now look, this blue line is called as line of control, line border between India and China. So in this side, in the upper side of this blue line of this line of control, this portion is known as Gilgit-Baltistan, controlled by Pakistan. And this area, the left side of this blue dot, this area is called Azad Kashmir. This is also controlled by Pakistan. So the total this portion beyond the line of control is controlled by Pakistan. Now come to this small green portion at the top. This is known as Saksham Valley, which previously was controlled by Pakistan, but Pakistan gifted this place to China. Okay, so currently Saksham Valley is under control of China. Now come to this light portion. This is Siachen Glacier, fully controlled by India. Okay, now come to this red line. This red line is called LAC, line of actual control, border between India and China. Okay, and beyond this red line, this green portion is called Aksai Chin, which is controlled by China. Okay, now what are the point of conflict between India and China? There are several point of conflict. Okay, I will show you everything. Look, this is Galwan Valley, located just beside the line of control. This is a point of conflict. Okay, now look at Hot Spring. It is also a point of conflict. Most importantly, this lake, this blue color lake, famously known as Pangong Shaw Lake, it is also a point of conflict. I will show you another map. Look at this map. This here the line of control passing through. Now on the line of control, this is first dot is known as Daulat Bag Oldie, a line of conflict. Then the Depsang Plain. Below Depsang Plain, this is Galwan Valley. Then the Hot Spring, and then the Pangong Shaw Lake, and at the bottom it is Demchok Valley. Okay, so all are the point of conflicts. Now India, China slowly remove all the conflict between the two countries and bring peace through an agreement which was signed on 21 October. Now remember, in 2020 a violent clash occurred between Indian soldier and Chinese soldier at Galwan Valley, after which 20 soldier was killed, Indian soldier was killed, and unknown number of Chinese soldier was killed due to the violent clash in Galwan Valley. Okay, so after the violent clash, several meeting occurred between the army officers of India and China, then the diplomat, even between the prime ministers also. Okay, even between the foreign ministers also, several round of talk occurred. How peace can be come to this point of conflicts: Daulat Bag Oldie, Depsang, Galwan, Hot Spring, Pangong Shaw Lake, and Demchok. Okay, now slowly the two country have resolved so many problem they resolved. Okay, first I will show you the map of Pangong Shoal, how India and China resolved their conflict on this Pangong Shoal. Look, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8. These are the point means base point of the army. Look, as per India, this red line is the LAC, but as per China, they are saying no, this yellow line is the actual LAC, means up to point F3 it is should be controlled by China. So China on to 2020 forcefully entered up to base point number F4. They forcefully captured up to F4. Okay, near F4 a base of Indian army is already posted, a base here. Okay, so after round of talk, round of meeting, finally a solution has come that no, China will disengage their troops and they will place their troops at F8. So China already removed their troops from F4. Currently they are at F8, and up to which India post is up to F4. So F1, F2, F3, F4 is currently under Indian control. Okay, and F8 and onwards in this right side it is under Chinese control. So what about this area from F4 to F8? This area, the both country agreed that this area will be called as buffer zone. F4 to F8, this area is called as buffer zone, means no country will deploy their troops in this location because it is a very geologically very sensitive zone. You know, Pangong Shoal on the top of Himalaya is a very sensitive zone. So from F4 to F8 it is called as buffer zone. Okay, so in this way the conflict at Pangong Shoal resolved. Similarly, the point of conflict at Galwan Valley where the clash occurred also slowly resolved, means China slowly removed their troops. Okay, removed their troops from the conflict zone of Galwan Valley and declared the spot as a buffer zone, means no Indian troops, no Chinese troops will occupy that area. So Galwan Valley, the conflict zone of Galwan Valley also declared as buffer zone. Okay, similarly the hot spring area, the Daulat Bagh Oldie area, all are declared as buffer zone. Now the 2 point where still Chinese troops were present, that is Depsang Plain and Demchok. Depsang and Demchok. Depsang at top, Demchok at bottom. In these two areas still the Chinese troops were already occupied these two places. So an agreement was signed on October 21. What was the agreement? The agreement is mainly on Depsang and Demchok Valley, that China will disengage their troop. And what will be the next step if China remove their troops? The next step is patrolling, means both India and Chinese troops were allowed to patrol in this area, means Indian troops can patrol on Depsang. Similarly, Chinese troops can also patrol in Depsang. Similarly, Demchok, Indian troops and both Chinese troops both can alternatively patrol in this two area. So Daulat Bagh LD was solved by declaring buffer zone. Depsang was solved by declaring that both India and China will patrol. Galwan Valley was solved by declaring it as a buffer zone. Hot Spring also solved by declaring as a buffer zone. Pangong Low Show portion was solved by declaring as a buffer zone, and finally Demchok was also solved by declaring that both country can patrol. This is the agreement. The agreement is mainly focused on Demchok, Depsang and Demchok. Okay, so this was the agreement. Now the agreement was signed on October 21 before the BRICS summit, where both the Prime Ministers Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping were met with each other. the agreement was signed on October 21. Finally, from 30 October, okay, the disengagement program was started, and finally both the country disengaged their troops from Depsang and Demchok. That was the news. The disengagement completed at two friction point. Two friction point mean Depsang and Demchok in Ladakh. Stage set for patrolling resumption. Means patrolling resumption means already up to 2020 already both countries were allowed to patrol, but from 2020 after the violent clash, China forcefully occupied that portion. So after this agreement, after this disengagement, patrol resumption. So setting the stage for resumption of patrolling in the Depsang Plain and Demchok areas in eastern Ladakh, India and China have completed the process of disengagement at these two friction points along the line of actual control. Okay, so Xu Feiyong, Chinese ambassador to India, in a post on X about his speech at a special session of the Merchants Chamber of Commerce and Industry MCCI in Kolkata, said China-India relations are standing at a new starting point, facing new development opportunities. China stands ready to work with India to lift bilateral economic and trade cooperation to a new height. Okay, very good. Now, this marks the first step of three-step process: disengagement, de-escalation and de-induction of troops on the India-China border. So, disengagement completed, now need to de-escalation and de-induction. Now, the build-up of troops and the standoff along LOC followed detection of Chinese incursion in eastern Ladakh in May 2020 and sent bilateral ties south. Okay, now this is important. On October 21, India and China reached an agreement on patrolling arrangement. The announcement on the agreement was made by Foreign Secretary Vikram Misra in New Delhi, setting the stage for a meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sideline of the BRICS summit in Kazan. Okay. Now, one thing I should say you, the Chinese PPLA, People Liberation Army, had cut off Indian access to petrol point PP 10 to 13. So, petrol point 10 to 13 was cut off by Chinese PLA in the Depsang Plain. In the Demchok area, Chinese troops had been squatting at the Charding Nala. So, 10 to 13 petrol point was cut off by Chinese PLA. Now, after this agreement, India can patrol on the petrol point 10 to 13. I will show you where the 10 to 13 petrol point located. Look, this is red color is line of control, but 10 to 13, these are the petrol point. 10 to 13, these are the line where Chinese troops forcefully occupied this portion. Now, after the disengagement, India can also have access, can patrol in this area 10 to 13. Okay. Next is, this agreement is important because the Chinese side until a year ago showed reluctance to even discuss Depsang Plain and Demchok, while it agreed on disengagement at other friction point 14 Galon Valley, 15 Hot Springs, 17A Gogra, north and south bank of Pangong Shaw. So these are the, I will show you 14, 15 and 17A also. So look, this green color is the actual line of this red color is the actual line of control, and this green color was a road built by China. So this is the red color LAC. Okay, and China entered 3 km inside. Okay, look at this distance, 3 km inside. 15, 16, this is the petrol point, 15, 16, 17 and the 17A. Okay, so this line, up to this line, it was illegally occupied by Chinese troops. Now, after this disengagement, China moved back to the actual LAC. Okay, so Indian troops have the right to patrol on this area from 15, 16, 17A. This line India can access, China also can access. Okay, because both country can patrol in this two area. Okay, so this was the agreement. This was the agreement. Okay, so this is the news. This is the news that disengagement completed at two friction point, Depsang and Demchok in Ladakh. Stage set for patrolling resumption. Means now patrolling will start. Patrolling will start by the both country. This was the first news. Next news is from economy. Cement production bucks broader slowdown in September. Core sector output. So this news about our core sector. You know, core sector is a backbone for a country. Growth of core sector is very necessary. Now what about the news? The news is saying that overall growth in core sector is 2%. Now I will show you the data given by Ministry of Commerce and Industry about core sector. So index of 8 core industries. There are 8 core industries in India, and what about their growth? What are the 8 core industry? I will tell you. The 8 core industry are coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery product, fertilizer, steel, cement, electricity. These are the 8 core sector. Now what about their growth? What are the Ministry of Commerce and Industry are saying? Look here, a base year 2011-12 equal to 100 is given, means it was assumed that base year is 2011-12 and the price or you can say the rate, growth rate, and you can say the price, base price was 100. Okay, that was the baseline. Okay, so look, in 2012-13 the coal growth index of growth rate, the coal growth rate is 103.2, means base in 11-12 it was 100 and 12-13 the coal become 103.2. so what will be the growth? We can measure. Okay, 103.2 minus 100 divided by 100 we can measure in this way. So I will show you the growth. Now look, weightage is also given. Look, coal has a weightage of 10.33 as per their production. Weightage also given. Crude oil 8.98, natural gas 6.88, refinery 28.04, fertilizer 2.60, steel is 17, cement 5, electricity 19, overall 100. So which sector has highest weightage? That is refinery product. So refinery product has the highest weightage 28.04, followed by coal 10.33, followed by electricity 19.85, then steel 17.92, then coal. This will show in which sector we have the best power, that is refinery product, then electricity, then steel, then coal. Okay, look, fertilizer we have a very low growth because we import fertilizer from Russia. Okay, in crude oil or natural gas we have a very low weightage because these are the thing we import mostly. Now I will show you the growth. I will show you this year growth. Look, from April to September 23-24, this date is very important. April to September 23-24 means previous year April to September our growth was 154.7. Okay, remember 100 was the base in 11-12, 2011-12, 100 was the base. Now our growth at previous year, this period April to September is 154.7. And what about April to September 2024-25, the running at the end of September, what was the growth? 161.2. So what was the actual growth compared to previous year? What is the growth compared to previous year? We can measure. How we can measure? 161.2 minus 154.7 divided by 154.7 into 100. In this way we can measure the growth compared to previous year. This is called year on year growth. This year growth compared to previous year. So if you calculate, it will give 4.2% growth. 4.2% growth this year compared to previous year. Look, they have calculate here. They have also given the calculation. Look, Look, April to September 2024, 4.2% growth compared to previous year. Now previous year the growth was 8.2 compared to then that previous year, means April to September 2022-23. Okay, compared to the growth was 8.2. This is called year on year growth. Now if you measure month by month growth, look, September 23 we have a growth rate of 151.7, previous year September 151.7, and this year September our growth is 154.8. So how we can measure what was the month year on year growth as per monthly year on year growth? So 154.8 at September 24, minus September 23 151.7 divided by 151.7 into 100, it will give us that 2% growth. Means September 24 the growth is 2% compared to September 23. Okay, so they have given the calculation that 2% is the growth September 24. So our growth is 2%, not good. If you take production sector wise growth, then coal has 2.6% growth, then crude oil has minus 3.9% growth. Okay, then natural gas has minus 1.3% growth, refinery products 5.8, good, that's why it has the best weightage. Then fertilizer is also 1.9, then steel is 1.5% growth, cement is 7.1% growth, and electricity is 0.5% negative growth. Due to this heavy growth of cement industry 7.1%, our overall growth is 2%, otherwise the growth may be negative. Okay, that is the thing written here. Cement production bucks broader slowdown in September core sector output. So this is about our core sector. So these are the two important news I find from today's newspaper should I discuss with you. So this is from today's newspaper. If you like the discussion about the news, please like the video, subscribe my channel. Thank you.